Every year, on the night of September 15th, the city celebrates its cry for independence.
But my family celebrates something else that night. The night two pairs of eyes decided that I would exist. My parents would tell us the story every year. It never changed.
I spotted this cute little thing in the crowd, and I knew right then I wasn't going home alone that night.
And I saw this tall, handsome guy staring back, but I played it cool and pretended I didn't see him.
And it worked. She made me come to her.
What they didn't know was that their little game of pride and flirtation was in a race against time. Because if my father had given up that night, if my mother hadn't looked back one more time, my story might have ended before it ever even got started. I am alive today because my father didn't take no for an answer.
Chicago, 1974. A city running on muscle and gasoline, while the world outside raced on, oblivious, inside a room in the Northwestern Memorial Hospital.
My story began. A story whose final chapter would be written further from home than anyone could have ever imagined.
Tomorrow. That's it. This is the one. This is what changes everything.
The car again? Another race?
Just one. I swear it. Aurelia, this is the last one.
Look at us, Antonio Rafael. We are 3 now, and soon there will be another.
I know. Asterisk. That's times Y. So our son never has to want for anything, so he can have a future.
Rafa, cops. They're everywhere. Get the hell out of here. Go. Think of your family. I'll hold them off.
That night, I understood something with perfect, painful clarity. A son shouldn't have to visit his father in a prison cell. That was not going to be his legacy.
Mexico City. 10 million souls, and not one of them looking for us. We landed with nothing and everything to lose. My father thought he'd left the danger behind.
The city woke up without warning. At 7 in the morning, the earth decided to remind everyone just how fragile the ground beneath their feet can be. Ursus was 11, Juan 9, almost 10, Areli 7. It was an ordinary morning, and that's exactly what made it so dangerous.
It's an earthquake! Everybody here, in the doorway.
Aurelia felt it first, in her voice, in her body, in that mother's instinct that knows when things are spinning out of control. Rafael didn't scream, he didn't run, he held on, as if his body could become a shield against the world. The ceiling threatened to fall. The sound was sharp, like a final warning.
I remember that day, I wasn't scared, just curious. I watched the walls slowly pull apart, heard the ceiling make this strange noise, and I thought, so this is how a house collapses.
While some just watch, others survive, however they can. Fear has an age too.
When everything stopped, I realized something without fully understanding it. We were still together, and that was what mattered.
Some houses collapsed, others just cracked open. That's where time lived. Jose Luis Tapia, 90 years old, and by his side, Maria, his daughter, who was his eyes and his legs. Nothing needed to be said. Their refuge was already open. Juan and Ursus, finally in a bed. They didn't know for how long. Only the present mattered, and it was enough. After school, Ursus didn't play. He helped build.
I didn't understand architecture, but I did understand that this wall was going to hold up more than just a roof.
It wasn't pretty, it wasn't big, but it held strong, just like them. A year later, the city decided to celebrate being alive. Mexico 86. Soccer crackled from old radios. And life was sold slice by slice, cheesecake by cheesecake.
I didn't watch the games. I imagined them. Every announcer's call was a movie playing in my head.
Every kid needs a role model, a hero, a name that sounds larger than life.
Don't have idols, son. We humans fail, and disappointment cuts deep.
It hurt, but I listened. That advice took away an idol and gave me something better, my own judgment.
Ursus doesn't know it yet. He can't even kick a ball, but the future is already written for him. Mexico City, 1989. Golden afternoon light. Some cities teach you how to run, and others teach you how to wait. Ursus was learning both without knowing it.
My father used to say, you don't play the guitar, you listen to it first. Maybe that's why I learned to watch it before I moved.
Hey, you want to play?
Go ahead. The best way to learn is by playing, and then you'll know if it grabs you.
When you don't know what you're doing, they put you where failing hurts the least.
Get in goal. Hands, feet, whatever comes at you.
The ball moved slowly, too slow. Like it wanted Ursus to think about everything that could go wrong. And it did go wrong. Put someone else in goal. He's no good, his teammates said to Mario.
I'll go to the goal. You play out.
He didn't defend my mistakes. He defended me. That you don't forget.
Soccer doesn't give second warnings. His foot didn't know what it was doing, but the ball did. Cool! But unfortunately, that screamer went into his own net.
Hey, did you see how you hit that? Do that same thing, but up front. If it curves like that, it's going in.
Patience gets trained too, and Ursus was learning without the ball. The curve repeats. But this time, toward the right goal.
I didn't yell. I just thought, oh, so that's how it's done.
Passes start coming his way. Ursus scores another, and another. When someone finds their place, everyone notices.
Next week, same time.
See? It wasn't so bad.
Tomorrow, there'll be another pickup game.
Guitars by day, soccer by night. That storm drain is my goal. Yours is the one across the street.
Without knowing it, between games and laughter, the fierce competition between Ursus and his dad had a magical effect. It turned the nights into the best mornings. Years later, they'd say he was born with talent. Mexico City, 1990. Ursus had found an escape in soccer. Not from poverty, not from the noise, but from something worse. Emotional absence. When the adults fall apart, kids learn to hide, each sibling in their own way. each silence with its own language. Ursus found refuge where it had always been, in his grandmother, Ernestina Tapia's house, Raphael's mother, Maria's sister, the same woman who had protected them after the earthquake.
She was the family's memory, the one who kept the names, the dates, the stories from when my dad was just Raphael, the kid who dreamed of being a musician.
For the first time, soccer wasn't just a murmur on the radio, an imagination built on echoes and distant shouts. It was geometry. It was color. It was tactics, finally visible.
With Grandma, I watched every game. Everyone else screamed at the goals. I started seeing the plays before they happened. It was like the chess I played as a kid, seeing the whole board, anticipating.
Who are you rooting for, Maijo?
The Germans, Grandma.
And why them, mijo? Argentina's the defending champion. They're such passionate players.
Because they play with their heads, and they're disciplined. In a World Cup, when everyone's tired, the ones who use their heads better win.
The years passed without asking permission, between soccer, guitar, parties, and problems that never left. They just changed shape. The cigarette finally collected its debt. Tired lungs, a heart that had already given too much. She carried guilt too. Children who demanded to know why she wasn't there, words that come too late and hurt more.
I didn't want to ask. I just hugged her. I only saw the woman who had saved me. They saw the mother who had left them alone. Love is the easiest language to misunderstand.
He found her like this, broken, not because of her failing lungs, but because of a hurtful word from her own blood. In that moment, Ursus didn't see the strong grandmother, he saw his grandma wounded.
I've had so many disappointments in life, but I have faith in you. Promise me you'll be a good man, a man to admire. The example of this family.
I promise you, Grandma, I will be.
In that embrace, there was no child comforting an elderly woman. There was a man accepting a mission. Ernestina's lungs, those fragile accordions, stopped filling with air. Her heart, so big for love, was too small for the disease. The world has a cruelty of seeming normal right before it breaks. It was an ordinary afternoon, one of those you later miss without knowing why.
Kids, listen, your grandmother just passed away.
Some blows don't make a sound. They just change your direction. After Ernestina's death, life didn't break. It just got heavier. With chaos at home, Ursus traded the classroom for the streets. His patience ran out. Between the drinking at home and the teasing at school, Ursus dropped out with 1 year left of middle school. Since he was 13, he learned what it meant to earn the day. Hard labor, long hours, silences even heavier. Soccer was still there, like a language his body never forgot. And for a brief moment, it seemed to open a door. The talent was there. Discipline, that was another story, but his grandmother's death hit him square in the chest. Ursus left the club. He left his dreams. He left everything. Raphael, Ernestina's son, drowned his pain in alcohol, not because he didn't love, but because he didn't know how to stay standing. Aurelia, his wife, followed him down the same path. 2 lost adults, 3 kids with no compass. The street started raising them. But Ursus understood something before the others. Someone had to be the adult. He wasn't the oldest brother. He was the brother-father, the provider, the wall that couldn't fall. Before she died, Ernestina left a charge with her daughters, one that wasn't spoken out loud, but carried the weight of a promise. Teresa and Lydia, their godmothers, would make sure the boys went back to school so they could build a better future and have real skills. Technology was just starting to heat up. Big computers, monitors with green screens, a future that didn't know its own name yet. The director saw potential in them. Bright kids, brothers who were tight-knit, hungry and determined to make something of themselves.
Boys, you're excellent students and great workers. You show up early, you leave late. But together, you're a handful, hard to manage. I can only keep one of you here. The other will have to go to a campus farther out. What do you say?
I'll go. You stay here, bro. You're safe.
The next day, Ursus showed up alone, tired, sleep-deprived, but standing. That's where Diana Maritza welcomed him. Friendly, radiant, like the place breathed differently.
Hi, I'm Diana. How can I help you?
Nice to meet you. I'm Ursus, a transfer student. They told me to check in with the director.
Nice to meet you, Ursus. Actually, the director's in a meeting. If you want, have a seat. I'll let you know.
Ursus couldn't fight the exhaustion, the commute, the early mornings, the uncertainty. At the first moment of stillness, sleep took him under. Minutes passed. The meeting didn't end. Diana walked over and, with the naturalness of waking a brother, gently touched his head, running her fingers through his hair. A gentle touch. For Ursus, that moment stayed with him. She woke him like that, with softness.
Hey, the director can see you now.
And then, a gesture changed the tone of the story. Months passed. Teamwork, laughter, get-togethers. Friendship grew. So did the affection. And without asking permission, it became love. Fate did its thing. Another country, another city. San Diego became the nest where love grew.
The promise made to a grandmother was still alive and still standing.
They arrived young, with no certainty, more desire than money. San Diego gave them a home. Diana found work fast. Transfers, roots, smiles. Mexico faded further back each morning. Disneyland and Las Vegas marked everyone else's path, his body working while his dreams slept. Ursus delivered furniture, stairs, aching back. Soccer stayed in the rear view. The guitar sometimes spoke for him, soft songs, only for Diana. The language was the new field. Word by word, error after error. Bettering themselves wasn't an option, it was a necessity. Between wires and parts, Ursus discovered something. He learned on his own. He analyzed fast. He understood systems, as if they'd always been there. 2 years passed like that. Working, studying, getting to know San Diego. Hard work, overtime, and limited time for themselves. Until they found something different. A job together, cleaning houses in wealthy neighborhoods. Half-day work, half-day fun, enjoying life. What the city of San Diego, California had to offer, the ocean became routine. Laughter returned. Time was savored. A year later, another opportunity. Apartment managers, Diana handled leases, collected rent, kept things running. Ursus fixed things, remodeled, kept everything standing. For years, that was his trade. The 1994 World Cup crackled through the radio. While Ursus worked, soccer was still there, waiting. The 1997 was the year that hit close to home. A former teammate, headlines in a final, the same guy who'd brought him to the club. He was happy for him. Truly. But something stirred. Something that never died. He started playing rec league. No pressure, no promises. Then came competition. The rhythm, the talent still there. The skilled one was coming back. Soccer had returned. Responsibility never left, and something else was starting to take shape. Eight years had passed since Ursus and Diana left Mexico City. Love didn't explain itself with words. It arrived first in the year 2000. Ursus Alexander. 2 years later, life knocked on the door again. Daritza Getsemani. And their home was complete. Ursus never stopped cheering for the team that once believed in him. Support doesn't expire. It gets passed down. While others learn to walk and to talk, he learned something else first.
Go! Go! Go!
Ursus kept playing. Weekdays, rec league. Weekends, competitive. From north to south. From west to east. Different jerseys. The same respect, talent, charisma, and a way of playing people remember. But not everyone knows how to lose, and not all passion knows when to stop. One kick, 1 second miscalculated, and his body said enough. That tackle didn't just take his knee. It took the player he used to be. Torn ACL, left knee, 2004.
That day I understood something I didn't want to accept. I would never be the same player again.
Fate doesn't take without offering something in return. It just waits for the right moment.
Your kid? What if you sign him up to play? It'd be like giving him his first world to explore.
Months passed, until the phone rang.
The rec league is about to start. Your son is registered, but there's a problem. There's no coach. If you accept, they play. If not, we'll refund your money.
His knee wasn't ready, neither was his body. But a child's dream doesn't get injured. That's how he arrived, on crutches, facing parents who didn't know him. He didn't show up as a former player. He showed up as a dad. And that, you can tell. That day, Ursus didn't return to a field. The field returned to him in another form. Without knowing it, he had just started something bigger than a tournament. Bigger than a knee, bigger than himself. It started as a rec league. But Ursus didn't yet know how to stop being a player and start being a coach. He demanded more than they could give. He didn't yell, he didn't insult, but he expected from those kids the player he used to be.
I wasn't angry at them. I was angry at myself. I felt like something was missing, and I didn't know what it was.
A coaching course changed everything. That's where he heard a phrase he'd never forget. First it's a game, then it's a sport, then it's a career, and sometimes it's a business.
That's when I understood. I didn't want to be the one who just arranges pieces or the one who only looks for talent. I wanted to teach.
Some decisions aren't born in the present. They come from old wounds. Ursus and his siblings were the poorest kids in the neighborhood. His father's family turned their backs on them. Ursus learned to cover himself with love. His grandmother's love was his shield. Soccer, his refuge. One day, rejection took shape. It wasn't just a dog. It was a mirror.
Mom, look, this one, this puppy, he's cold and hungry. Can I keep him? I'll take care of him and protect him.
Let him learn what it means to be responsible for someone.
Ursus didn't just take care of him. He wanted to protect him from the world.
I'll train you, so no one rejects you, so no one hurts you.
The day he came home from school, the dog was gone.
Your dad sold him. The dog got aggressive and tried to bite him.
That sadness never left. It just learned to stay quiet. Years later, Ursus understood something. He wasn't just coaching kids. He was shaping kids who would one day become good people. He didn't allow yelling. He didn't allow humiliation, not even from parents. For Ursus, the score was never the priority. Development was. Some parents didn't understand. They wanted trophies, not process. They took their kids away. Ursus accepted it, even though it hurt.
Losing kids hurt, but watching them lose their growth and development, that hurt more.
From the ashes of that first stage, his first formal team was born, Ursus Alexander, the laboratory where his philosophy would stop being just theory. It was a development team. He didn't look for the most talented, but the most motivated. Ursus applied what he'd learned: patience, repetition, consistency.
With them, I lived through every stage, the first victories that tasted like glory and the defeats that cut deep. I learned that the result is temporary, but how you live, it stays with you forever.
The team had its ups and downs. Some left, others arrived, but the core grew. The experience with Ursus Alexander was the foundation. It taught Ursus the most important lesson. The road is long, and you have to enjoy the journey with those who choose to walk it with you. With that lesson learned, the next step arrived. Daritza arrived. La Muñeca. And with her, Ursus Ulysses no longer sought to mold players in his image. Now he offered his school, a place to teach, to give opportunity to any motivated kid, regardless of whether they knew how to play. An opportunity not to repeat mistakes, but to move forward with visible results. Like Daritza, he invited those who were hungry, not for innate talent, but to learn, to improve, hungry for development. This team was born with an advantage. The experience gained with Ursus Alexander now allowed him to channel everything directly into solid development and tangible results. There, in that mix of experience and new blood, Ursus Ulysses understood that his journey was no longer that of a coach. Without knowing it, he had become a developer of people. And so, with a first team that learned to walk, and a new team that learned to run, something bigger than a club was born. A school was born. San Diego, California. Years later, the game grew, and with it, the responsibility of teaching something more than just how to win. From rec league to competitive, from helping to building. Ursus Ulysses didn't just coach clubs, he also built school teams, elementary, middle, high school. It was a project born from the heart. Diana brought order and vision. Ursus brought the technique and philosophy. In 2015, the idea got a name, a dream shared as a family. Futotal Athletic Badgers, FC.
Total football for the complete player. Badgers, small animals, but tenacious, brave, and protective of their den. That's what we wanted to be.
Without a field of our own, every practice was a negotiation. Other clubs with connections would run us out of the parks. There was no field, no permits, just conviction. They got kicked out from place to place, but they never gave up. The fight for a place to play was the first lesson in perseverance. Gratitude opened a door. The school lent them their space, and the project could finally breathe. The first indoor tournament was a wall. They didn't face local kids, but a team of Spaniards who mastered the art of total football. The score was a slap in the face, 10-1.
Criticism from parents poured in, but I didn't see a loss. I saw a compass. Those 10 goals against us showed us exactly where we needed to improve.
The rematch wasn't sweet, it was epic. Same technique, same tenacity, but with lessons burned into memory. They didn't just win, they became champions. Futotal Badgers FC 10, Spain Team 3. That's how the school grew, building an identity, with kids who would be shaped into good people. The kids stopped being kids. They became teenagers, then young adults. Ursus Alexander made his choice. UC Davis over the Galaxy or Europe.
You chose well, buddy. Your future comes first.
With no co-ed leagues available, the teams merged, became one. And some parents didn't just watch from the sidelines, they laced up and played alongside their kids. The youngest team in the league going up against adults. The first year was tough, losses that taught lessons. But they settled in, learned to compete. Ursus Alexander, already in college, would come back and contribute, the legacy on the field. And sometimes, the coach played too. His body told him to be careful. His heart wouldn't listen. By 2018, they were contenders. A solid team with an identity. Then came 2020. The team was at the top, the bench deep and strong. The pandemic stopped everything. Silence where there used to be shouts. But the name stayed alive. On fields across the African continent, our affiliate, Badgers Nigeria. Today, Ursus Alexander is a college graduate. He plays for fun now. Co-ed teams, still standing out with his technical skill and his warmth as a person. The coach rests, but that spark, that love for the game, you never know if it might wake up again.
In the end, the only school that really matters is the one you build with your life.